Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So today ended our path with the 29 people that came here to this short initiatic path here in the pyramids, but just a few left, and the rest are here. So we are still doing the same as every day. So I am like a little bit relaxed because I will try to do my best to focus because I am like tired of these days, so I need to recharge. But I will try to do as best as possible. So today in the Sphinx, we went to make the connection to receive the information from the water, because below the Sphinx there were like the library of water where the people in the past used to storage the information. And when we did that, in order to receive that information in our blood, which is our own water, after we finished, it started to rain for 10-15 minutes in the pyramid, in the Sphinx. So it was kind of a blessing. So it was good, perfect. So it was a great ending, downloading the information. So today it is also an ending day, because today we close the month of Libra with the Taurus in the physical wake. So in order to close the month of Libra, the topic for today is here and now. Remember that the whole concept of Libra is to balance two different aspects. But what we usually believe is that these two different aspects are like dualities, separated concepts that we need to integrate and to put together as one. But remember that these two hands, these two different concepts, are connected by the arms to the heart. So it doesn't mean that we have to put these two things into one to get the balance. It is that the heart has expanded and created these two concepts, because the arms and the hands are born from the heart. So what we have to do is not to put those things together, is to remind those two things that they are only one, expressed into different aspects. This is why during the whole month of Libra, it was not about to unify two concepts as one. It was to make these two concepts remember that they are one. So this is how we balance things, by recognizing that all the things that we have around are only part of one reality. The topic here and now is related with time and space, and they seem like a very physical aspects because we can relate with them, but it will take us in a very philosophical concept to try to understand them. So maybe it's difficult to understand it at first, but you will see that with the practice you will acknowledge and understand what it really means. And this is because we are usually saying today, in our current times, the spiritual concept of being here and now. And the concept of being here and now, we usually relate it with here, like a place, and now, in a time, in an hour, okay? So I would call that not here and now, I would call that aspects of the, how do you say in English, presentism?
Yeah.
It's a made up word, presentism, to live constantly in the present. But it's not to live in the present, it's to believe constantly that you live in the present, like this. So let's invent, let's say it presentism.
Okay.
Let's say presentism. Okay. So the concept of here and now that we usually use when we want to relate with the spiritual process of being here and now, they are in fact usually related with the ego, which means that the I, the self, is perceiving the reality outside from its own point of view, but it's perceiving the reality from the point of view of the projection, so it's not the truth. This is why we kind of interpret the here and now more for the individual in a separate world than in a whole with unity. So to understand what really means to be here and now, what we have to talk about is what time and space are. So to understand time and space, as always, we go to the origin of the words. But this is something that myself has discovered today when my higher self was trying to explain me what it was time and space. So while I was asking, he said they are the same. And so I looked into the etymology, and the word time and the word space come from Indo-European languages, and they exactly mean the same. Time means to pull away, and space means pull. So basically, it's exactly the same in different concepts. So the question would be why we take it like different concepts that creates our reality if they are talking about the same thing. The reason why they are exactly the same is because they are the two aspects of one only reality that is born from the unity. So the unity is only one concept that it's an inner process that projects itself in the outer process. So in and out, they start to express, so the idea of the mind, which is the only thing that exists, projects into a thought, okay? And this thought is the positive aspect of the negative, which is the mind, the idea. And when it starts to pull, it stretch one to each other, and they are connected but pulling one to another, okay? So it creates like the feeling of strings that are entangled, like pulling one to each one of the sides. So this same reality is the one that creates like the string theory, that time and space is basically the same, but all connected by strings. So from our human point of view, when we think about time, we perceive time as all those things that pass through, that goes through our life, that we can measure as a process. And the space is like the places where you move, okay, around. But the perception of the time that we have is not real, because it's attached to the perception of the matter. And how is this? It's because what we perceive as day and night basically is the earth moving, is not the sun moving around. We perceive that the things are passing away, that they are going through, but they are not doing that. What really happens is that the earth is moving, so the sun changes, from our point of view, it changes the position. Also what happened is that we see the constellations pass through the sky, and we think that the months are passing through, but what really is happening is that the earth is moving. Also, when we think that we grow up and we are getting old, we call that the pass of time, but what really happens is that the cells stop reproduce themselves. They don't have the energy anymore to produce more cells. They stop dividing, they stop doing mitosis, and suddenly the cells just die. That's the degradation of time, of the matter, really. So it's not because of time, it's because the space is transforming itself. So from this point of view, time really doesn't exist. It's just a perception. It's just a perception from the space, from the matter. That's all what it is. Time basically doesn't exist as we think is time. So we would say then, okay, if time doesn't exist and it's just a perception from the matter, from the space, so the only thing that exists is space. But the answer is no, because space is just the construction of energy, which was the strings of vibration, and this vibration was the pulse of the mind in the origin of the cosmos. So this pulsing is the only one creating from the inside to the outside. So matter is just a perception from this mind expanding. So this is why basically matter is just a perception of the mind, because really they're all vibration, atoms, all mixed each other, and it doesn't exist. So what we have to do is to divide into the concept of space and time. We have space and time in one side, representing what we believe and perceive of what is time and space, and the other thing would be what it really is, time and space. To try to understand first space and time as the two concepts from our point of view, from our human point of view. We start with space. Space basically is the perception of 3 dimensions in our point of view. So we have 3 dimensions that we call space, which is high, depth, and wide. These 3 dimensions, okay, are the ones that represent the space. So everything that has a high, a weight, and depth represents our point of view of the space, okay, our reality. This is what we call the 3rd dimension. The 3rd dimension is a way of measurement of the parts of a reality. Okay, then you can repeat it. Just rewind and listen again. So dimension would be the division and measurement of parts. Why? In Latin, dimension means di, which is 2, and mention, which comes from measurement. Okay, so dimension really means 2 parts that are measured. So this measurement allows us to see the 3rd dimension as a perception through where we can move through. Okay, so high, weight, and depth. When this starts to have a process, to move through a process, we call these 3 past, present, and future. So this is the concept that we have of time. What is time related to the space as we perceive? Is the movement of these 3 dimensions. Everything that goes high should be future. For example, everything that goes in the depth is past. Everything that goes wide is present. So we can relate in these 3 three-dimensional reality, basically the concept of time is specifically related with the concept of space. Okay, that would be. So in the other hand, we have time and space according to the cosmos. According to the cosmos, time is the one inside. Time is the concept that creates the process, the one that says I will express myself towards the outside. So time is the inner concept that is willing to express itself into the outside. That's what really is. So it means the process has begun. That would be the time. So it creates the strings. And the space would be the experimentation of that process. Okay? So in such a way, they are exactly the same, but one of them is inside, the other one is outside. And both of them are related to the whole process of learning. One creating the process itself, and the other one experimenting the process. So as you have seen, the concept of time and space in the cosmos has nothing in common with the perception that we have of time and space in our reality. In our reality, time and space are perceptions of atoms organizing themselves to try to save energy. And for the cosmos, it's the expression, basically, time and space. This is when we now go to the topic of here and now. From our point of view of this reality, here is related with a specific spot in the three dimensions: height, weight, depth. And time, which is now, is also related with a specific moment inside this process of the three dimensions. Basically, here and now are related with a specific spot in the third dimension that we call usually present. So the present that we usually speak about is just one of the three of them. It's not the most important one, it's just one of them. So if they are just a spot in the third dimension, so what really means to be here and now? The real concept of here and now, to understand it, we have to get outside the perceptions of our reality to go into the origin of the reality. When we go to the origin, we will understand a totally different concept of what time and space is. And it's related with the topic we discussed yesterday, which is the universe is one spot expressed in a circle that comes back again, being a point, and again and again. So this means that only one spot in the universe, one place in the universe, can be expressed in all of them. Every place in the universe is exactly the same spot. And only one moment in the universe is expressed in all the moments and timelines in the universe, and even though it is just one moment. In order to understand the bigger concept of the here and now, we should not go from the point of view of I, of me. Okay? We should not go from me. We should go from I am, okay? Which is the whole creation. So the concept is I am, not an expression of the only one being, because every one of us, I, is an expression of the self. So when we come back to the I am, we start to understand that every time and every space is just in one tiny spot and moment, which is expressing in many other difference. When we are saying here and now, we are not speaking about a moment and a place. We are talking about all the times and all the spaces. So the reason why here and now is all the times and all the spaces is because when we relate ourselves with the I am is the concept that has been expressed and lives in every time and every space in the concept that we call eternity. This is why past, present, and future, they are just perceptions of time from the third dimension in the space that we call height, weight, and depth. This is why when we go outside the third dimension and we put all the dimensions together, what we do is to find the center of everything, the core of the I am, that we call the eternity. All times, all spaces together. Is this useful? No. So, why do I explain this?
It's a book.
I don't know. The reason why I'm explaining this is because as much aware we become, we usually say, I'm just living here and now. And we usually made a mistake when we say this statement, because we are saying, I don't care about the present, I don't care about the future, I don't care about the past, I am just here and I don't care about anything, just living my life. And that's not what it is. That's presentism. That would be the concept of being disconnected to everything. So the reason why I explain this is for us not to make a mistake believing that here and now is just don't care about what happened in the universe and besides what you are. That what really happened, what really you are, is you really are is here and now, all the times and all the spaces. So basically, here and now implies a great responsibility. That would be. Because whatever we do here and now can also modify what we call here past and future and present. I think that's it. So one important thing is to recognize, to understand that even if we go and try to understand the here and now through the I am, this doesn't take the importance to what we think now is time and space, because we are in the physical world, we are moving in the space, so the time from our perception is something useful to understand how to move through this reality. So it's not about now I got what it is here and now, space and time, so this one really doesn't matter because it doesn't exist. No, it's the tool we have to be in this reality. Another thing that was from yesterday that I wanted to explain is the term God. God is a when I used to say a lot, God doesn't exist, and then I explained that the mind is the creator and so on. So some people ask me, but if the mind is the creator, is the one that creates everything, so the mind is God, so we can call the mind God or the creator God, or God is the energy or whatever. So I will explain now why I say God doesn't exist, and why it's not the correct way to say God is the creator. But besides that, I must say, I am no one to say you don't say God. You do whatever you want. Of course, you can call God or whatever, or the goddess or whatever. But I will try to explain the concept of God, so we could explain it a little bit. So what God means. In English, Goth, if I'm not mistaken, I guess it represented like the good things and the invisible good things, like the, how to say this word, like an attribute, like something not good, but like
Skills,
yeah,
virtue.
like quality, like a quality of something. Yes, I guess I don't want to make a mistake, but just a moment. Oh no, it has the same etymology, but in a different pronunciation. Okay, so God is, it relates with an attribute which is kind, which is an attribute of something that is fine, that is good, but is related with the light of the sun, because it comes from the word dieu in European languages, which is sun. That what means that it's bright. It's something that is brighter, and the light of the sun is good. It has a good attribute. It helps to life, and so on. Okay, that what means God, and the origin of the word is dieu, that means day, light, sun. So all the people believed that the life came from the sun. So sun was good thing. Then the giant ancestors came from the sky, and they said, we come from the sun, so we are the light in matter. So they started to call the greater one, the one that rules everyone, Dieu, which was the sun. And Dieu, from the Indo-European languages, start to be pronounced like Dieu, Ziu, Zeus, Zeus. And Zeus, the Greek name for the god, is a person that represented the sun on earth. Okay, and from Zeus, the god, it went to the Latin languages like Zeus, Dios, Deus, Deus, Dios, and in the German languages like Guth, Goth, and God. So when we say God is the creator, God etymologically and from religion is not talking about God as the creator. It's talking about the sun and a guy in Greece that used to have sex with everyone, basically. So the only name possible for God is basically I am who I am. That's the name that everyone said about God. Okay, I am who I am. So this is why when I say God doesn't exist, is because I'm saying that God is a projection of the creation itself. So when we want to relate to God, we usually say, I am who I am. So that was the problem with semantics when people used to say, I am God, because I am God, and a lot of people in history said, oh, he must be God, and that's how we create religions. Let's go to the concepts. The vibration for today is The statement for today is I am eternal evolution. The quote for today is polarity. The sixth law of the universe helps us understand why cause and effect exist, the same way this came from correspondence. So, for everything to exist in the universe, it's necessary two complementary forces that generate energy capable of creating. Positive and negative are also feminine and masculine, time and space, the necessary force to manifest. So, sit comfortable. So, we begin stretching the body, massaging the body. And yawning to release energy. I let all my weight fall down, just focusing in my breathing. Take a deep breath, bringing all my attention to my left foot. Softly, I start to move my toes and my ankle in circles. I bring the movement to my left knee and hip. Start to bring your attention to the waist, bending your body softly towards left. Come back to the center. I bring my attention to my left hand and start to move my fingers and soft circles with my wrist. I bring the movement to the left elbow and shoulder. Very softly, I bring this movement to my head in soft circles towards left. I stop and begin to move towards right. Descending the movement to the right shoulder and then the elbow. I bring this movement to my wrist, right hand and fingers. I bend my body to the right, feeling the pressure in the waist, and come back. I bring the movement to my right hip and knee, moving softly, and I bring this movement to my right foot, soft circles in the ankle and the toes. Relax the body. Take a deep breath, picturing the higher self, the I am, above your head. And with very deep breathings, I invite it to go through all my body, by the crown, third eye, throat, heart, plexus, sacrum, root, knees and ankles. I become aware that all my body is made of duality, positive and negative, masculine and feminine, time and space. Take a deep breath and with your hands go from the head to the feet, caressing and touching, recognizing all the mirror shapes. Ears, eyes, eyebrows, nose, the two sides of my mouth, hands, chest, arms, genitals, legs and feet. I become aware that all my body is made of duality. All myself, all my being is a mirror. I acknowledge, recognize that without this duality, I cannot move forward. I cannot go beyond. For my two ears, my two eyes, help me to be in balance in my axis, to not to fall down, to be straight in myself. Only because of duality I find balance. I honor the balance. I honor the duality. For only because of it I can find equilibrium. Take a deep breath and perceive the light of the I Am, its essence coming out of my feet, expanding all around me, coming back to my head like a big torus, a toroid that embraces my duality in balance. And with my vibration, I activate the potential of this toroid. I am the eternal evolution. I am the eternal evolution. I am the eternal evolution. I am here and now. I take both hands to my heart. I honor the duality that allows the creation of all the things, the beauty that is manifested in the constellation of Libra. I honor this path of balance, and I recognize I am balance. I am balance. I am balance. Take a deep breath and begin to move your body, stretching, yawning, caressing, and expanding all this awareness through each one of the joints, the portals of your body. And we come back here and now, opening our eyes. Tomorrow we begin with the month of Scorpio. So we are going to the depths. Just for you to know, I don't know exactly how it's going to be, but I guess that we will be doing kind of the alignment will be kind of a tiny regression. Okay, so just for you to know, and we will work with the desire. So as always, drink a lot of water, rest a lot to assimilate information, and see you tomorrow at the same time.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.